Okay, so take two. We're going to look at some overlapping soaks here. So the first one we're going to look at is the overlap between the group soaks and the GigaCoil adds coming down. So we're going to push play here, and we're just going to look at this one isn't very pretty. It's kind of a bad picture. So we just play this. We see they're about to come out. So you look, we did a soak here, here, and one back over here. Now what the Giga Coil does is it will pick a random person, so this one picked one in the melee group, and normally this does a big circle around the person, but as you can see the circle would drop off the side of the platform here, so it pushes these adds in and basically leaves us with very little to no space to basically be out of this knockback and take damage. So I got hit there a little bit. So the next picture will be a better looking one, and we'll just take a look at that now. So it's coming up again. This time we're in the same sort of position, but it actually picks a range person. You can see how much better this looks. So as you'll see here, there's so much space. Like both our soaks for these two groups are in the yellow circles, but it's not like we have to find this tiny patch of grass to be safe. We've got all this room, so we actually all just get in there with ease. So there's no problem there. So probably just like one little suggestion so this happens on GigaCoils 2 and GigaCoils 4. When they're coming out, the one little suggestion is just to move the soaks back. Okay, look at this one here again. We're actually, these two are in actually a pretty good position, but this one here, like we just could move the soak back. Even if all the players move to the edge of the soak here, you've got a greater chance of them being picked, and then there's just going to be more room. But even if the soak moves back, if the soak moves back this far, people will move. We shouldn't miss the soak. It's not like we need to run it way back here where the others are. Just moving it a little bit is going to help. It's just going to avoid all of this mess and kerfuffle. It's going to push all these outer ones. Instead of them being this close, if we're standing here and it picks us, they're just going to be further back, and there's going to be a nice little pocket there. So yeah, again, you can just see what a good picture looks like. So imagine if it's like this every single time. Easy. And I think this next one is an overlap between the soaks and big bombs. So we get the soaks first, and they come about a second before big bomb comes out, and the big bomb is always on these lines. So it's actually, it doesn't randomly spawn, it's always on these lines, so we can pre-move this very easily. It's always going to be here is the area we're aiming for to get to. So we actually do a really good job here. We get there nice and early, and then, oh, we all died. So this is, unfortunately, it was the only clip I got on this. We actually did this good a few times. But this one we were just overlapping. I don't think we had enough people in this far one. So things we can think about is pre-moving. We've got plenty of time. The big bomb always spawns in the same location. If we really want to make sure that we don't end up with low numbers in a group, we could assign groups. I don't think it would be too difficult. It is one more thing to think about, but the more we do it, it becomes muscle memory. So we've got 3 soaks. We've got one on the outside, one on the middle, and one on the inside. Basically just split us into 3 groups. So we could have group 1 here, go on the outside, group 2, go in the middle, and 3 and 4 could just say go on the inside soak. That way, you know, group 1, 2, 3, if you're in 1, 2, 3, and then 3 and 4, just go to your spot. You're either going outside, middle, or inside soak every single time. The only thing will change is if you get the soak, just don't be in the same spot as someone else. Just someone go to the side. But yeah, that's pretty easy to fix up. And okay, so that was nice and easy. The next one I wanted to talk a bit more on and this is kind of the main one where I think we can get a lot of improvement, is on our positioning of the GigaCoil. So we've talked about the overlap a little bit before, which will come into this, but we're going to talk about GigaCoil more specifically in all the instances that it drops. So this first instance is going to be GigaCoil 1 coming up. It does drop 4 times, I believe, in phase 2. So the first one will start in the middle, and then he's going to run to an outside, and then GigaCoil 2 is going to drop on the outside, and then he comes back to the middle. GigaCoil 3 drops on the inside, and he runs to the outside again, and GigaCoil 4 happens. So when thinking about this, basically inside outside, GigaCoils 1 and 3 inside, 2 and 4 outside. So this is an inside one. So what's he going to do here? He's going to drop. You can see the. I am playing the wrong video. I will delete this section. Cool. Cool, so this next bit we're doing is we're going to look at GigaCoils. So we're just looking at GigaCoils a little bit with the overlap. That's GigaCoils 2 and 4. So to explain a bit more, it comes out 4 times, I believe, in phase 2. I can't remember if it's 4 or 6, but I think it's 4. But what you'll notice is he starts in the middle, and that's where 1 happens. He'll go to the outside, and that's where 2 happens. He'll then come back to the middle, and then that's where 3 drops, and then he'll go to the outside again eventually, and that's where 4 will drop. So when thinking about this, there's kind of 2 places. It's either inside or outside, so 1 and 3 are inside, 2 and 4 are outside. So at the moment we're looking at inside. So as you can see, when it drops, it casts, there'll be all these yellow circles that basically get dropped around him. And what we have to do is we have to A, not get hit by that, but B, we now need to gather up all the mobs and AoE them down. When we do that, there's a couple of things happen. So there's some AoE damage to avoid, and he will do some charge lines. There's a nice big blue one. We've got to avoid those as well. At the same time, we're trying to AoE down these ads, and they are dropping bombs. So you can see bombs pop out. There's one over there. There's about to be a whole bunch dropped. They're spreading everywhere, and we've got to pick those up and dispose of them. There's a couple of ways to dispose of them. In the hole there, you can drop them on the outside, and we also have to drop one on the Giga controls to destroy it. So that's kind of what that looks like. First time, I want to go back and replay this one because there's a few things we can look at doing and improving. So when this drops, we start grouping them up, and we're doing nothing wrong here. It's actually, this is a relatively good pull. We pull it all together to the middle, and then we kind of just hold them here and start AoEing them down, and we're trying to avoid everything. We're kind of just standing here, and they're all just throwing the bombs out. I think they throw them out randomly, but if we just pause here, what we can see is I think this one's still going backwards, but we've got like 1, 2, 3 here at the back. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 in the front here. So what our strategy at the moment has been is to take them in the middle and dump them inside of him, and we'll be taking 1 to the outside. So we've kind of got all the bombs going in different directions, which can make it difficult when we miss picking up that 1 to take out. You know, if we need to get another one, we're going to have to run further in, for example, to get it, or somewhere else, because all the bombs aren't going in the same direction, and it's hard to tell someone who's throwing it in the middle to stop and take it out. So that's one thing we're doing. And if we look at this, what you'll notice is then he just shoots straight down the middle in between us. And so at the moment there's a bit of DPS loss because we've got sort of everyone running. You can see they're throwing the bombs in now, but the boss is over here and he's just twiddling his thumbs. And I think if I go back a few seconds, so we saw there was like 3 bombs at the back here. So 1 was taken to the Giga control, I think. No. It's a bomb there. Okay, so we did, one of them actually got taken into the middle, and 2 thrown off back here, but the rest of them were all sort of taken off and thrown in the front. So a couple of the problems with this is that if we look at it here, we know the boss is going to run to the back of the room. If we pick up these bombs and run them here, we're actually like causing too much work for ourselves, because we're actually running forward, turning around, and then running all the way back out. Whereas instead we could just pick it up and run backwards. One thing that also might help with this as well is I know we're getting a bit of cleave damage, but it probably just still makes sense to just keep bringing these ads back for a number of reasons. The first thing is, yeah, we might lose a tiny bit of ad damage, but you can cleave like as far out as this middle ring and it's still cleaving on the boss, I'm pretty sure, from watching my replays. But if we start out here, once we kill all the ads and the boss comes to the back, then we're just main DPSing on them, and that's always going to be better than just cleaving these ads onto them. The other things that you might notice is up in this middle or this inside ring, there's not a lot of space. So if we're having to dodge all these blues, if we're all in this up here close and we have all these blue rings on top of us and this big blue beam, and we're trying to pick up the bombs, and sometimes they end up in the middle, and we're trying to kill ads, which normally end up in the middle of the beam, there's not a lot of room. So the further back we bring them, there's more room in this center ring, and there's more room out the back here as well. It's going to be much easier just to dodge everything and collect everything. And the further back we bring them, it's actually going to be easier to just throw them straight off the back. As you can see here, like I think that's Tusk. He walked in so late to pick up that one and throws it off the edge, and he's still like the first one there to DPS the boss. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of improvement here. This is another example of looking at it. So I'm just going to go through and watch this. We're grouping up all the ads, see it, dodging AoE, but we keep all the ads at the front here, and it's actually quite a restricted space. And then we get quite lucky with some of the AoE on this one, and then now we're trying to pick up all the bombs, and everyone's throwing them on the inside. I actually see this one's really far out, and there's no one else out here, so I pony up to go get it. And you might be thinking that here is going to be the best play, because it seems natural, because all the bombs are near the boss. We think that's natural. But what I actually do is I pick this up and I go, see ya. I just start running to the back of the room, because I know where he's going to be already. And look, I'm the first one here. I've got the bomb. It was the furthest away bomb. I got it first. I've thrown it off, and I'm the first one DPSing the boss. Like, yeah, I get it. The tanks are picking up their heads, but this just shouldn't be true. Melee, and I just ran to pick up the furthest away bomb. I shouldn't be the first one here. So it just suggests that we're losing a lot of DPS in this phase, and we're kind of just making it hard on ourselves to throw the bombs in, and we've got to get one out. Because I think if we're all picking up the bombs at the back here, we're already here. It's easy to pick up the ads, it's easier to throw one in the Giga controls, it's easier to throw them off the back, and it's easier to DPS the boss. Yeah, I think this is yet another example, and if we just watch this, similar sort of thing is happening in this one, where we're just grouping them up, and we're dodging AoE, bombs are coming out, we're picking up bombs, taking them to the boss, Do I pick up one? Yeah, I pick up one, I walk to the back, and we're still throwing away bombs, and then he comes to the back here. And where is everyone? Everyone's all the way back here. We could be just a further bit back. Like the quicker we deal with the mechanics, there's extra benefits, because he does ramping damage basically in this phase. So if we put the ads back here and we just kill them real quick, and we throw one into one of the controls real quick, he's going to phase a lot quicker. He's going to get to the back of the room quicker, we're going to take less damage, and then we can just start DPSing him out here as well. So it's generally just going to be, I think, better overall for our efficiency. It doesn't quite mean that we have to drag them right to the back of the room, but just generally moving. You're just general movement, as we know we're going to end up here. So just generally moving the ads back is just going to give us more room. It's just going to make things easier. And he comes to the back of the room. If you might have the question of how do we know where he's running to after it finishes, it's real simple. He does the same thing every single time. So at the moment we've got our markers for red and yellow here. This is the back of the room. We start on green and purple in phase 1. So we know this is the back of the room. So what he actually does is he does GigaCoils in the middle, number 1, and then he'll charge to the back of the room every single time. Then when we looked at earlier the big bomb overlap, he puts out the big giant bomb, it's always on this line, and he runs clockwise, and he'll go to this, I think this is east out here. I believe we're at north, or it's the back of the room. But he goes clockwise, so he'll go to there, and that's where he does GigaCoils 2, which I'll show you in a minute, because that's the outside one. Then he'll go back to the middle, that's GigaCoil 3, and what he does then is he just goes to the front of the room. So he's only going to the back and the front, so it's actually easy. We've already got markers. You already know which direction he's going to run it. So yeah, this is the second bombs, and this is where our pathing is a bit different, because unlike the first one, where we are going from the middle of the room to the back, so I call this one inside out. This next one, he is going from this corner to back to the middle of the room. So we'll see what this looks like. So yeah, this is that corner that I was talking about, and here's our starting position. So it kind of looks the same, but we've rotated around 3 hours on the clock face. So what we can see here is, well, this is actually carrying on from that good picture earlier that I looked at when we had that overlap of the soaks and the GigaCoils coming down. So we had this nice good spread. This is right after that, where we're just grouping up the ads. And so what we do here is we've got a similar sort of strategy where we're trying to group these up, AoE them down, and then drop the bombs off in the middle, which is not that bad of a strategy in this position, I don't think. But there's a few things we can consider looking at. So if you just watch here, we're just AoEing them down, waiting for bombs to drop. You can see that, yeah, we're starting to kill them now. Bombs are starting to come out. We're going to take one to the back, and then we're throwing the rest off all in the middle here. So, I'm going to take it back a second or two, but you can see there was one ad here that I was hitting, and I was still cleaving the boss. So the cleave damage on the boss is actually quite big. And then he comes right here to this green spot as well. So we'll go watch this one again, because there's a few extra things we can look at. If I just find my timer. Is this at 140? Yeah, I think close enough. So, what is our goal here? We know we've just dropped all the ads here, and we know we're going to end up here. And basically, this whole fight works in the same sort of way as there is in the title here, clockwise. The fight kind of rotates in a clockwise fashion. So, kind of in the same one where I said we want to think about our pathing and our positioning, moving from inside out. This one we want to think about moving clockwise. So if we would just watch this and watch what we're doing, we're grouping up the ads, which is good, and we're kind of dragging them to the middle, which is fine, it's good, we get a bit of cleave. But at the moment we're going counterclockwise. Most of the ads, except for one, going counterclockwise towards X. That's where we came from at the start, and it's the opposite side of the room of where we're going. Couple of things happen. Once the first bomb drops, Ava picks it up, but she's going to run it to the closest Giga control, which is the right thing to do, but it also puts her way out of position, way out of the healer's range, because she's now at the back of the room. If we had all the ads up here, she can pick up the first one still, but she can go, the control is right here to the right, and now she's so much closer to where Gallywix is coming, which is right here on the left. That's one advantage. The other advantage is, well, quite simply, we're all closer to where the boss is going to go, so we're not going to lose some DPS in a minute, and we can still bring them to this inside ring, because you can see I'm hitting this ad here, which is just outside. There's my damage 204, and you can see I'm still cleaving the boss. So his cleave damage is massive, or like the the radius of the cleave. His hitbox is massive. So when we drop all the adds here, our better pathing is to sort of track them along this middle line into the back of the room. That gives us lots of options. And so if we've got all the adds here, we can throw them in the middle. I would say you kind of don't have to, because again, we're walking to the middle and then we've got to walk to the back of the room. But it's fine. But if they're all here, we are so much closer to where the boss is about to go in a second, which is right behind me. So where is everyone? I'm the only one here. And this is kind of the point I was making. I kind of did some things intentionally in this video to try and show a different point of view from what we're currently doing. And just, imagine if we just threw off all the bombs now. We've got all our 20 raiders. Well, there's not 20 of us here today, but we've got all our 15. My math good? 1, 2, 3, 12, 15. God, my math is good. I should be an accountant. But we've got all 15 raiders here just wailing on the boss. We're going to be doing a lot more damage than just my measly 1 million. So I think we'd get a lot more damage just with our general pathing of going clockwise. And it's with all the extra benefits that I talked about earlier, like there's just more room to dodge AoE. Hopefully it's going to make it easier. One thing I might have mentioned, but I didn't, like if we got all the bombs here and say we screw up the Giga control, like the person whose responsibility is dies or something, we need to call out of one extra person do it. If we've got all, like, I think it drops 6 bombs, if we've got all 6 bombs here, we need 1 or 2 people just to run in there and it's going to take care of itself and everyone else can throw it off the back here. So it's kind of a fail safe as well by being in this general area. So we should never fail that mechanic in my eyes. And we're just DPSing the boss. So yeah, again, in summary, we can look at this just thinking about our pathing inside out. We actually start off a lot of these pulls, we're doing really good and we're grouping them up here. We could be just pulling them out, I guess, a little bit like here's right fine, but yeah, the bombs are going to randomly drop around them, which again is still fine, but we could just be pulling it backwards at this point and just throwing them off the back. But I don't think we ever need to run them in and throw them this way. Like at this point, these people and this person are wasting their time by going inwards. But I'm just walking at this point and there's like half the raids here, but the other half is not because they were kind of throwing bombs. So again, similar sort of thing. We just look at how much time we're just sort of losing here. Once we get them all grouped up, we spend a lot of our time dodging the AoE because we're all in such a small area. It just means more of us are going to have to dodge. If we're further out, it's just easier to do. And then, yeah, this is the real good example of this one. Most of the bombs drop in close, so most people are throwing them in the middle. And I'm just going straight to the back of the room, nice and easy. And yeah, again, third one, but I think you're getting the point. You can just kind of see it would look a lot different if we just pull this out a bit more space and probably more uptime on the boss. And then I think the next one is again just this our phase 2 one. Yeah, so we're just grouping up all the adds, and you can watch because I do it with this one guy, and I do my best to try and keep some heat on him. But all the other 4 or 5 go that way. But you can see I'm just walking here and I'm backtracking like a tank would be doing this. We're just DPSing the boss down. He's going to drop the bomb. He throws it backwards because he's annoying, so I can't pick this one up. But like I'm backtracking and I'm already here before the boss, so it's kind of perfect timing. I feel like they intentionally made it this way so that you can just path here at a slow walking speed, bring it closer to the boss to get some cleave, but still bring it further back to throw all the bombs off the back. So yeah, that was just my part 2 of tips and tricks that might help us.